Hello, good afternoon. You are watching the interview series by
Asha.
South Asia Research Institute for Minorities. I am Saida Kisai Zera, your host and researcher at South Asia Research Institute. I am delighted to host this interview today. Now, I would like to invite Nitesh Pradhan. He is a journalist based in Sikkim, founder of Eastern Himalayan News Services. He wrote many articles on TNT, the Northern East Today, India's largest independent news agency, East Mojo, The Citizen, and many more. So let's get started with the interview. So you are ready? So my first question is, located in eastern Himalayas, Sikkim is the India's most attractive northeastern tourist destination. What is the present state of the tourism sector in Sikkim? As most of the businesses have experienced substantial losses as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, actually, the pandemic helped out in a very unfortunate way in Sikkim because the last year has been very, very difficult, especially for the tourism sector. And, the rough estimate, according to the sources, I think the tourism sector itself has, lost around 500 crores. It's just a rough estimate. So you can imagine a small state like Sikkim with a very small population and which receives tourists, double our total population. And the entire year has been a very bad year, no tourists, and a lot of businesses have shut down. The private sector has no money. So I think the unlocking has just started. So we are hoping and praying that now the tourist season will, reach.
So my next question is, as you are a member of Newar community, which has magnificent history in Himalayan region, what role has the Newar community played for the establishment and empowerment of democratic institutions that ensure the protection of minority rights guaranteed by the Indian constitutions?
Actually, our Newar community is a trans-Himalayan community, which is located across the Himalayan region. But basically, the historical, homeland has been, you can, our origin has been from Kathmandu Valley, which lies in Nepal. But now we are settled across the Himalayas. And one important organization or community support, for custom and everything, which is done by one organization called Guthi. Wherever there was an organization called Guthi. So that Guthi takes care of all our rituals. So I think to preserve our rights and preserve our community, a sense of community, I think Guthi has played a very, very important role, not only in Nepal, not only in India, but
Yeah, thank you. Moving to another question, please tell us about the Eastern Himalayan News Services. Since it's a news site, what kind of information or stories do you publish and what are its main objectives?
Eastern Himalayan News Service is an independent news portal that we have started in Sikkim, and we are trying to cover the entire Eastern Himalayan region, which comprises of Sikkim, Darjeeling, even Bhutan, Nepal. So we are trying to build a network of young journalists, independent journalists who want to contribute, and give something back to the society through news and media. We are just trying to develop, and because since media as a whole, in the market is very in the doldrums, because of the COVID pandemic and stuff like that. There is no money in the private sector, and I think what we're sustain itself through the means of volunteerism and through means of exchanging our common views and ideas and commonalities, bind together as a region. So we're just trying to do that, and let's hope that we succeed in that. it's a very new organization. We have just started, and there's a lot of fresh blood, and there's so many young people want to contribute. So we are just trying to encourage them as well as give a voice to the voiceless and news, that does not feature in the mainstream media. We're just trying to highlight that.
Agreed. Thank you so much. So another question is, what is the status of religion and ethnic minorities and what role they play in development of the state?
See, Sikkim has a very unique history, okay? And we have religious minorities as well as ethnic minorities. But religious minorities in Sikkim are Buddhists, Muslims, and Christians. We also have small Jain also. So we have a very good mix of religions, and all the religions are living in a very peaceful, harmonious manner in Sikkim. The main issue in Sikkim is not religion, but it's ethnic, because Sikkim comprises of majority Nepali population and minorities Bhutia and Lepcha tribal population. So the main, scheme of things, the political thing, it revolves around the majority and our minority ethnic communities, not the religion. Religion is never an issue in Sikkim because everybody is living very, very harmoniously. However, there is always a need for resources, but not in a violent way. Everybody is trying to get their share of pie, from the state through means like reservation or through means like recognition as a scheduled tribe, So in that ways, I think Sikkim has a very unique kind of history where the ethnic and religious minorities are very separate from each other, They are not explicitly linked with each other.
Great. Thank you so much. The next question is, as the minority social economical rights and basic human rights are being violated throughout the South Asian region, what are the different type of discrimination faced by minorities of Sikkim?
Well, as I already said, Sikkim enjoys a very high human development index. It's one of the richest states in India, doing very well in terms of minorities are necessarily suffering over here. But definitely say, that if we don't take care of it now, if we don't take care of our minorities now, then in future they will definitely suffer because due to the rampant development that's going on in the state, a lot of our tribal minorities, because there's this huge dam project coming up in the Tista River. And Tista River, as you know, is called the lifeline of Sikkim. And Tista River is worshipped by these tribal communities, the Lep community, and they live around the banks of the river. And so it's threatening their home, threatening their lifestyle, it's threatening their beliefs. They have opposed this hydro project for years, but it has to deaf ears in terms of the government because successive governments have come and gone in Sikkim, but nothing has happened. So if we could scrap this project, we could just stop this Tista Hydro project, it would be very nice for our tribal communities who are very, very vulnerable, and especially it will be a blessing in disguise for our state Sikkim and for the Lepcha community of Sikkim.
Yeah, I truly agreed with you. Thanks a lot. So, what is the impact do the job quotas have on Sikkim's economically disadvantaged minorities? Why the employment rates of ethnic groups are so low?
Sikkim has a very, as I already said, Sikkim has a very unique history, So all our jobs, they are reserved for the local people, for the Sikkimese people. So in terms of government reservation, 20% is reserved for the Bhutias and the Lepcha communities. 13% is reserved for scheduled tribe communities, Sherpas, And there is one list called other backward classes of the center, center government's list. 20% is reserved for them. Then there is another list of other backward classes, that is a state list, and that is reserved to 20%, And for the scheduled caste, it's 7%. And there is one more special reservation called primitive tribe reservation, which is for the Lepcha, the original tribe of Sikkim, the Lepchas, it's 5%, So in terms of jobs and in terms of, getting that access to job, in the first preference basis for the local Sikkimi communities, I think 85% is reserved for the locals of different communities, be it from the Bhutia Lepcha minorities or from the other majority Nepali community of Sikkim. So I think in terms of going forward, I think Sikkim can show, in a lot of sense, because there is equal participation of majority and minority in terms of job reservation and in terms of, taking part in the overall national or, regional development.
Thank you for your answer. As you know, in the global arena, promotion and protection of minority rights are principal stand of viable democracies. The vibrant democracy and religious liberty are inseparable. In that context, what democratic stance of Sikkim?
Not only in terms of jobs, but even in terms of political reservation for the minorities, way ahead, because we have 12 seats out of 32 seats in the state assembly reserved for the Bhutia Lepchas, who are the main minority of Sikkim. So 12 seats are reserved for the minorities only on 32. And 2 seats are reserved for the scheduled caste community. And one seat, a special seat is reserved for Buddhist community, which is called the Sangha seat, because Buddhism has played a very important role in Sikkim. And it is the main minority religion in Sikkim. So in terms of political reservation, also Sikkim has shown a way to the rest of the world, that if we really want to take care of our minorities, we have to give them the political reservation. We have to give them reservation in jobs. We have to give them, a safe and secure life. And I think Sikkim, can lead a very, very good example. And I would actually to appeal, to people and research scholars from across the world, and whoever is watching this, that please do some research on Sikkim, and especially on how our government, our people, or our movements, have led to minorities being enjoying so much of rights, that they richly deserve.
Exactly. Thank you. Question number 8 is, how does your media promote and protect minority rights, and how does it educate people about their basic right and expose human right abuses?
Minority rights are as sacred as any right, So we would always be standing up for minority rights. And, I think first and foremost, what I do is that I take very keen interest in the culture, tradition, and customs of the minority communities, So whenever there is a function, whenever there is a festival of the any of the minority communities, I think we are one of the first person to go and do a coverage, and at least give some awareness, so that everybody knows about each other, because if we don't know each other, there is no connection. So if there is connection, if there is friendship, I think media should promote more of these kind of stories, so that we know each other, we can participate in each other's function, we can talk about each other's custom, religion, tradition, So I think I would be the first person always to take keen interest in the custom and tradition of minority communities. And another thing is, I think we should also take very keen interest in the legal aspect, because there are certain laws and regulations, that governs us. And I think in terms of minority rights, there is, but people are not aware of it. So what we can do is we can more awareness about it.
So my next question is, how regional and international organization and coalition as well as regional media organization be more successful in normalizing ethnic and minority issues and countering abuse of human and minority rights?
Yes, Saida, I think first and foremost, we should start with the basics. First and foremost, awareness. Because in India, minority, who are our minorities actually? People, what they represent, how is their religion, how is their custom, how is their tradition. I mean, there is no knowledge about it. First and foremost, the work of media is to create an awareness about all these things, right? So first, so I think in India we should start with basics, and all the fake news and all the fake posts and all the fake, things that try to create some kind of disharmony between communities. I think it should be dealt very, very strictly by the authorities, because they're literally fed up of all these kind of fake news, that try to want harmony. We want interreligious, you know, unity. I think we should play any very. We should promote each other, and I think I think the promotion of dialogue is also very important. What is happening between India and Pakistan? There is no dialogue. There is nothing. So when will the friendship come? So the similar thing is the communities, be it ethnic communities or religious communities. If there is no dialogue, there is no friendship. So media should be the bridge that can truly bring about a very good friendship between communities.
Yes, that is very true. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. The next question is, the hate speech encourage prejudice against minority. What policy should be implemented to control hate speech on social media? How will you approach this issue as a journalist?
Well, as a journalist, I always take a very legal approach, in terms of fake news, because I think it's high time we start dealing with it legally, in a sense that we don't penalize the person in a very bad way. But what we can do is, I think we can put some kind of self-regulatory measures, so that fake news is curbed in a systematic way. However, the menace of fake news becoming such a concerning thing, not only for the commoners, but even for us, because even our profession is stake, because the more the fake news, the more people will start disbelieving in us, right? So I think media as a whole, that we should do some more power, then they may misuse it and do.
That's very nice of you. Thank you. How can SARIM and your organization work together to promote the right of South Asian persecuted minorities?
I think there is a lot of hope, because what Sarim is doing is such a noble initiative, and I highly congratulate you guys for such good initiatives across South Asia. So it is an honor, to work with organization like yours, because you guys have the experience, you guys have the knowledge, and you guys are doing so much of research, and you guys are investing time in an issue that you really care for, and we in India also, we are trying to do, we're trying to bring people together. I think Sarim and we can work together and collaborate in so one.
Finally, Mr. Nitesh, I would like to express my gratitude for your time and invite you to a conference that will take place shortly after the epidemic. Are you interested in joining us and perhaps visiting Pakistan?
Oh, absolutely. We love Pakistan and we love Pakistani people. I think we really want to, it will be an honor to visit your country and exchange some commonalities and create a bridge of friendship between our people. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for making time to be a part of this interview. It was very nice coordination with you. Thank you so much. Hope to see you super soon. Goodbye, stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye. Care.